Hello everyone, welcome to this exciting video. We're gonna be starting the healing series now, finally. Welcome, my name is Jaspir. I help you heal, rise, and live more soul aligned. Like I said, if this is your first time, welcome, please do subscribe. This channel, it's not for me, it's for you to discover yourself. I hope you learn something new here every day. And today, we're finally going to be talking about healing. And as you saw in the title, the word Tantra or the black magic is mentioned. So, as we dive into these healing topics, I want to get over the taboo, the conditioning around black magic or the evil eye. So I want to talk about these kind of things in today's video and how they impact us, how they stop us from healing. And before we begin the healing series, before we talk about the chakras, the energy work, the emotional release, there's something really important that I want to talk and that I need to speak on with you guys. Something that blocks a lot of people from healing in the first place. And what is it? I've noticed this pattern over and over again. A lot of people come to me. A lot of people feel anxiety, people feel anxious, they feel sick, unlucky, they feel disconnected. And what's the first thing they say to me? I think someone did black magic on me. I think there's something wrong. Someone is controlling me. And believe it or not, a lot of people say that, even in today's world. So, now listen, I'm not here to shame anyone. I'm not here to shame your feelings. And I understand where that fear comes from. In our cultures, not just Indian culture, black magic is practiced across many different continents in different forms. So, in different cultures, we've been conditioned to believe that when life gets hard, when there's trouble, when there's problems in marriage, when there's financial problems, when there's health issues, we've been conditioned that someone else must be doing something to us. It's easier for us to believe in evil eye or curse or black magic than for us to sit with our own pain and look deeper into our karmic cycle and see what's causing that pain. If you want to know that there's something going on with somebody, look at the chart. I guaranteed, in astrology, as we know, what are the Dustana houses, right? 6, 8, 12. Everybody fears the 6th and the 8th and the 12th house. We've been told life is doomed from these houses. They're my favorite houses. I love the 6th and the 8th and the 12th house. You're going to be like, what? Why? Sir, isn't the 8th house scary? It's about death. What else is there? Transformation, change. 6th house, enemies, fear. Kings are not made sitting in a castle. You gotta go out and fight the battles. You must die again and again in the 8th house to be reborn. And I love it. So you gotta face your enemies to become stronger. Otherwise, you can't become stronger by just staying protected at home always. So, if you want to see how someone is suffering, before we put it on black magic, Look at the dasha, antardasha, pratintardasha, that whether 6th or the 8th or the 12th house isn't activated. If the dasha of a 12th house planet comes, they could be facing a lot of mental issues, psychosis, schizophrenia tendencies, mental health problems. People might want to put them in mental asylum depending on how bad it is, what planets are there. 8th house, you gotta face your shadows. Inner healing has to happen. So, if we talk about 8th house, a cult is born. 2 types. There's Tantra, right? What does Tantra stand for? Tantra, it's a combination of 2 words. Tan means to stretch, expand. So Tan, we're expanding, and Tara is a tool we're using. It's expansion. Expansion of our awareness, expansion through different techniques. There's 2 types, right hand Tantra and left hand. Tomorrow's video is going to be very exciting because you guys are going to be intrigued. I'm going to be talking about the left hand Tantra, the Agori practices and all this stuff, the meat and how to overcome lust, all the weird stuff, why we fear the left hand Tantra, the spells, the madness, let's call it. That's going to be in tomorrow's video, but let's get back on track here. So we're scared to dive into our pain and look at our karmic cycles. But the truth is, most of the time, it's not black magic, it's not Tantra that are causing the problems. It's your own soul trying to get your attention. Okay? Like I said, it could be your dasha, depending on what planet is activated where. It could be suppressed emotions coming up from the 8th house that needs healing, that the inner shadow work has to happen. It could be very well ancestral trauma or ancestral patterns that are asking to be healed. And if we don't clear this fear first, if we don't gently dissolve these superstitions, then all the chakra work, meditation, any positive affirmation we do, they won't stick. They will not work. First rule, fear blocks healing. Remember that. Second, blame. Okay, when we're blaming others, blame blocks your growth. Not your physical growth, like your financial growth, but your spiritual growth, your soul journey growth. So if we're blaming it on the outside circumstances that, oh, this happened because somebody put a lemon on our door, or somebody did this and that, that's stopping you from evolving. There's a challenge in your life. How are you going to overcome it now? And challenges, we don't have spiritual attacks in our dreams and stuff. It's more so in the physical life, when the court case shows up in your hand, or when somebody steals money from you. Why did that happen? What did it take from you? And if we keep believing in superstitions, we'll never heal. We'll never be able to live a more soul-aligned life, because superstitions, they keep you trapped in a victim mentality. So we need to grow from those. So before we open every single chakra, before we open the heart chakra, before we ground into the root chakra, before we awaken that kundalini, we need to walk the path of truth. We need to make space for truth. What is healing? Healing is taking your power back. Because you know what? In order to heal, you got to be ready. You have to be ready to stop blaming. You have to stop fearing. You have to stop waiting for someone come and save you. You have to do the work. You have to face your shadows. Remember, going to a saint, getting the blessings, is not going to magically heal your problems. It's the inner shadows that you have to face. What's that karmic baggage you're carrying? What are those unspoken words, unspoken emotions that you're hiding inside? Take your masks off. What's stopping you? Let me tell you, I'm just here as a guide, as a medium. But the real healer is you. You are the healer. You are that magic. And nothing outside, nothing and no one outside of you is more powerful than what lives within you. You are that magic. So, before we talk about the chakras and healing journey, these negative energies, how do they impact us? How do we end up in a negative loophole? It depends on the environment, the kind of words you're speaking, the kind of words you're listening to, what people are saying to you. That has an effect. It's not so much black magic. Let me give you a very brief, small example. If you're rooted spiritually, if you're rooted within yourself and you're grounded, there's nothing that can destroy you. I have 3 scenarios. Let's start with the first one, small example. You're a little student. Go back to your childhood when you're studying in elementary school, like grade 2, 3, or 4, okay? Very, very young age, before puberty, before teenage years, anything. You're a little kid running around the playground, and someone in the playground makes some comments to bully you. Now, if you're confident and you believe in yourself, those negative words are not going to have an impact on you. They will not sink in you, okay? Because you believe in yourself. Your in-home environment made you believe that you're good enough, that others' words cannot get to you. Like, for example, if in the playground someone calls you poor, like they make fun of you for different reasons, your height, hair, like your weight, somebody calls you fatty in the playground, whatever, and that sunks in. Why? Because you let that energy get to you. That's black magic right there. That's the start of black magic. Somebody else's words are able to change your energy field. That's a change that's happening right there. That's Tantra. Why? Because you're weak. You're not confident. You don't believe in yourself. If you were confident, you would just reflect that energy right back at them. 2 people, even 2 bullies could call you fatty in the playground, and you don't give a darn damn about them. Because you know that you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're smart. Others' negativity cannot bring you down. That's an example from childhood. Now let's get a little bit older. You're done school, you have graduated, and you have landed up in a workplace now. You're a grown adult. If you have confidence issues, if you're not courageous, okay, people can easily bully you at workplace. Your top tier managers can overburden you. Sometimes in workplace there's a term called ragging or nagging, I believe it is, when the seniors make fun of the juniors or something. So if you know your boundaries, there's nothing they can do to bully your workplace. You know your structure, you know your job responsibilities, so you go do your duties. You're not bothered by the outside environment because your own aura, your mindset, your thoughts, you are so protected. You don't care about what's happening outside. Now let's get one step further. Black magic in the spiritual world, okay? Some people think, oh, we found coconut outside our house or this and that, now we're doomed, okay? Before we even blame that type of energy, let's get back to ourselves. How rooted are you spiritually? Let me ask you behind the camera. How often do you pray or meditate or sit down to reclaim your powers back or to get energy back? Are you easily disturbed? Now, a saint or a monk or somebody walking down the street, they are in their own spiritual zen. You could be cursing, yelling, saying all the tantric, like negative energy words to them or trying to bring them down. They're not impacted. They don't let it get to them because they're so grounded in themselves that their vessel is full of positive aura, positive energy, that these negative words don't even impact them. And that's how you gotta be grounded spiritually. If you are strong on the inside, nothing can get to you. So that's why I say it's very important for you to be grounded spiritually, that nothing else will matter. Nobody can get to you. When we have our own insecurities, our own internal battles, our own inner shadow work that needs to be done, we always look for external validation to fill us up and get us out of the negative energy. Or we look outside for answers when we're weak on the inside. You gotta heal yourself on the inside. Nobody else is gonna come and help you heal. Healing starts with this magical word. I'm gonna go into more, but in order to heal, you need to have awareness. Awareness is that magical word, that gate opener, the key to open the gates of healing. You need to be aware that you need healing, that you got to work on yourself, that you have some dark energy that you're holding on to. And black magic, what is it? It's fear and unresolved trauma. There's different ways of dealing with it. Positive words, positive affirmation, healing, or you got to work on the inner shadows. That's the left-hand Tantra. But somebody can come shake you. It's because you're not rooted on the inside. See, tantric practices are, even the word Tantra is often misunderstood. Okay? Even left-hand Tantra, the evil type of Tantra, they say, it's transformation through shadow work. That's all it is. I'm going to talk about it very detailed tomorrow. What we call black magic is often the shadow self asking to be seen. That's all. There's a backside to me. Can I see it? Nope. There's a backside to the coin. But can you guys see what's behind this? You can't. Sometimes that's where energy healers, shadow workers come in to help put light on those hidden energies that are hiding in the 6th, or the 8th, and the 12th house. When do they come to surface? When that house is activated. When there's a planet sitting in the 6th or the 8th and the 12th, that house is illuminated, or that house is awakened now. And that's why our life seems so difficult. That what was hiding beneath the surface is finally coming up now. So, before you blame black magic, blame the real enemy. And what's the real enemy? Fear, confusion, and disconnection from your soul. So, you guys don't know that simple words have the biggest impact on our energetic field. Okay? Before doing the chakra work, I want to start the healing with words. And words carry energy. How we surround ourselves, what kind of words are spoken to, what we speak, all matters. Negative energy is not just a feeling, it's a frequency. Every word we speak, every thought we entertain, and every emotion we carry, it holds a vibration. The vibration interacts with our environment, with our body, and there's a space between the cells where the vibration is vibrating in our body. ancient, many years ago, like ancient spiritual traditions have always emphasized the power of the words we're speaking. In the Bible, I'm sorry, I'm not able to reference this line, but I know in the Bible there is saying that in the beginning there was a word, and in the Vedas it's not word, but it's a sound, the vibration, the Om sound. The vibration is the beginning of creation. That's why, hence why, when we're meditating on the Om sound, because our body, every cell vibrates to the resonant frequency. So words and sound carry vibration. Now, in today's world, science is finally coming around and agreeing with the mystics and the yogis that have always known that words carry energy, and energy shapes reality. There's an example that I want to share with you guys, and how words, positive words or negative words, have an impact. And this example, this experiment was done by Dr. Masaru Emoto. It was a Japanese experiment, and Dr. Emoto did a water experiment where he was photographing water crystals, and he would say positive words, positive affirmation, and water molecules that were exposed to the word positive words like love and gratitude and thank you, and what these words, they formed beautiful crystals. And the words that were exposed to negative words, hate, fear, disgust, guilt, they formed some crazy chaotic crystals, like disgusting ones, and they're almost scary to look at. Now, since our bodies are 70% water, can you imagine the energy that is being poured into our body, like negative self-talk or toxic environments, the impact that these things can have on our physical body and our emotional well-being? So be careful what words you're speaking, what words you're listening to from others, and what kind of environment you're surrounded with. And the second experiment in terms of words, this was also it's known as the Japanese rice experiment, and where you boil rice and you put them in, so same rice, you put in two different jar containers, one in different rooms, okay? And one of them is labeled with like positive affirmation, like thank you and love you notes on it, and the other one has negative affirmation, you fool, I hate you, like very negative things. And each day the scientists would go in and speak to these jars. So they would say the positive words, thank you and I love you, and they would say the negative words to the other jar. So the jar that was exposed to negative words fermented and molded up very fast. And the negative words basically turned black and decomposed so much faster than the rice with the positive words. And it fermented slowly and it stayed white, and hence showing us the power of words. There's a tribe in Africa, I'll try to remember and maybe put in the description or comments below, where if an individual commits crime, he does not get punished or reminded about the crime. You know what the tribe does? They form a circle around this individual, and each member of the tribe has to say a positive thing to that person back. So the individual who committed the crime totally even forgets that he's a criminal or he has done something bad, or the village reminds him of his good qualities to bring out the positiveness in him. Now, these experiments and these practices, the words, the positive words, what do they show? What we speak is what we're feeding our body, our mind, our intentions. So words are very powerful spells. And each word, each spelling reflects the sentences that are formed. It's a very, very big energetic type of cast, energetic force that we're carrying with our words. So be careful of what you say to yourself. Be careful what you absorb from others, because words are energetic codes that program our subconsciousness. And this is how healing starts. And that's why it's so important to cleanse not just your aura, but your language, your inner dialogue, and the people you surround yourself with. So I hope putting some light on this cultural conditioning helps you, makes you want to think that maybe there's no black magic, there's something wrong inside. Maybe there's some guilt or trauma or fear that's waiting to come out. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about the left hand Tantra, why some Agoris meditate on cremation, like cemetery grounds and stuff. And from there, once we get over this fear that right or left is so good or bad, we can finally move towards healing our energies with a positive mindset. Because remember, if there's day, there's also night. But is the night bad? No. So if there's positive words, positive mantras that are available that help you heal, positive practices like meditation, there's also inner shadow work that we have to do to heal as well. And that's the left hand Tantra practice, okay? When we're working through the dark side, when you're working with a therapist or a hypnotherapist to reprogram our brain or bring up the trauma, like trauma workers, for example, that's all the left hand Tantra work. That's all it is. And you don't need to be scared of healing. So I know this video has been very long, and I want to say thank you for staying this long and watching and supporting. I hope you guys like what I've shared, and I'm excited to share a little bit more on the Tantra tomorrow. And the day after, we're finally starting into the chakra, the energy work. So thank you for watching and thank you for supporting. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and a wonderful afternoon. I love you guys. Happy healing and stay smiling.